all packaged and labeled. I don't know when I first put my hands up against the plastic. I don't know when I first realized I was trapped in my package. Money had made me into something cheap and disgusting, something to hang on a shelf or packed into a box. No artist, just some kind of product. The price of my integrity plastered over my chest. And that's from page 116 of David A. Romero's new poetry collection, Diamond Bars 2. The name of the poem is Because I Could Not Stop for Money. Before I continue with my review, I'm going to go ahead and just give you a little bit of a disclaimer. I guess I've never done this before with the story. All right, so sometime in July, I think, because what is time? It was a very hot, sticky, disgusting day, and there was a book festival going on at a local museum that I'm not even familiar with. It's kind of like hiding in plain sight. But I thought anything to get out of this boiling apartment. So I took myself and my kid to this book festival. And even though we both felt absolutely disgusting, we just thought it's something to do. We'll grab ourselves some drinks and just kind of like peruse in the shadows. And wouldn't you know it, not only was I thinking I wouldn't run into anyone, I ran into someone I admire, and that is the author, David A. Romero. Isn't that funny? Um, yeah, a very awkward exchange on my part because I wasn't planning on socializing with anyone that I know, and not only someone that I don't know, but someone like I admire. So that was wild. But you know what? They're a lovely individual. They offered me their book for free, so I got the Spanish version of My Name is Romero. I've already said before, my terrible is like Spanish. My Spanish is like really terrible, like almost non-existent. But my daughter does know Spanish, so I'm sure she'll read this. And also a copy of their new poetry collection. So since it's the summertime or winding down, and I just have just enough time to tackle one more book, which would be poetry. I couldn't tackle like a full length novel with my summer slot, so I just thought I'd squeeze this in. So yeah, I just wanted to let you know that in advance. This is published this year. The launch for this poetry collection happens uh, late August, early September at Village Well in Culver City. You might want to check out their Instagram or their website, but the details should be available there. And there's going to be other poets performing at their launch, which I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to put that out there. And it's put out by Moontide Press. Okay, but I do want to listen to, or I'm sorry, read their other poetry collection. There's one in between My Name is Romero and Diamond Bar 2. There's the first edition, which is Diamond Bars. I have not read it yet. I didn't even know he put anything else out, or else I would have like already gotten it. So I definitely want to pick that up. So yeah, to go on to talk about this, I'd have to say, since I brought up My Name is Romero, I like this book, but there's like some love story collections that I didn't think really like fit here. And when I read this book, there's still some complexities of love that are in here that do fit. So I thought it was really cool to. This is exactly why I like reading uh, one author and focusing on one author, which is what I did last year in 2023, because it just feels so good to see like the progression of an author's prose, rhyme, the storytelling, what's important to them is really like embedded within their stories, right? Or else they wouldn't be writing it. And this is really cool to see. And so with this poetry collection, since it's called Diamond Bars 2, there's an overall sense of regionalism, and each section is defined by the season. And so I really like that approach. There's also like this like symbolic sense of like how that locks into emotion as poetry collections unfold. That was really, really beautiful. And so I like how the author captures the nuances of identity amongst the community that they inhabit. And it's just like this elevated experience of digging deeper into like regionalism, community, working class existence, complexities of love, addiction, racism, and navigating art versus commerce, which is actually why I chose the poetry to read from, because that's just a fascinating piece that artists have to engage in, right? I mean, everyone has to pay their their rent, but I like those conversations because it's like, where are the lines? You know, where do you find where your boundary is as an artist? You know, yeah, those conversations just are a joy for me to read, and so I also just appreciate how raw the author was. Um, being with their experiences. I do have a difficult time with poetry, and I tend to gravitate towards poetry that feels accessible. And David A. Romero's poetry always feels accessible, just like Hanifa Durkheim's poetry feels accessible. It's not like getting too abstract that you can't really grasp what's going on. And so that's my sweet spot. So yeah, if you're interested in any poetry this summer, as we wind down to a close, I'd say check out Diamond Bar 2. It's definitely worth it. If you've read anything from the author's collections, I'm definitely interested in hearing your take on the material. And if you're new here, please subscribe. During the summer session, I am not doing any spoiler chats. I do that year long, except for in the summer. It's just short book reviews. And so, yeah, please subscribe, like, and I really look forward to just seeing you in the chat.